Hello there, this is a review of the Diamond Select Marvel Select Juggernaut. This figure is awesome. It is big, it is bulky, it is heavy, and it is fantastic. In this video we're going to review some of the features and some of the details. Upon looking at it, this figure is huge. It is also extremely detailed. As you can see as I spin this thing around, you can see a lot of different muscles here. They did not spare any expense in creating this figure. Like I said, he is very top-heavy, and depending on how you're able to pose him, which, as all Marvel Selects are, not very well, he will fall over, so caution on that. Alright, now I'm going to bring him forward so we can look at some of his posability here. Now, you can bend him at the knee, but like all Marvel Select, he doesn't have a whole lot of range of motion. Now, you can also even try to swivel his thigh. That does work, however, it does not move out at all. The leg does not work that well at that hinge joint. The hinge joint is extremely tight. Now with his arms, you can actually do a bicep swivel, so he can do that. It looks a little weird, however, you can also move him at the shoulders. There is a big hinge joint right there, so you can flex it out. Now, my main gripe with this is that these hinge joints are both hard to move back, hard to move in general, and they look awful. As you can see here, he's got a giant chunk missing from the inner part of his arm. It's also present in the crotch area as well. Now with these, to avoid that, I typically just pose them with these joints in and kind of just go with the, I guess, factory-looking pose with these figures. You can pose them however you like or what you can get them into, but it is not easy. Now he does bend also at the elbows, and you can put a little bit of range of motion in those. That's really going to be up to you and what you decide for his pose. I personally like this flexed version. Bringing him close again, we're going to take a look here at his actual paint details and his head. He does have some pretty awesome details in the face. I like the face sculpt. I like how angry he looks. I even like the little eyebrow-looking marks on the helmet. It looks even angrier. Now, with the head, I don't like that you can see a little bit of bleed-through through the eye holes. It's not necessarily great, but it's not a big deal unless you're looking pretty close. It does get worse if you move it around. Now I do like the shading here on the muscles. I even like these little vein details they've got all over them. Another thing I do like is the amount of detail they put on these bands and even the texturing they put on his actual costume. The texturing on the helmet is pretty awesome. I do like these little bolts. They look pretty great. Now, if we twist his head, you can see a little bit more of that bleed-through that I was talking about on both sides. Now, when you're posing him, that could be annoying. It just depends on what you like and what you're willing to look at. Now we're going to take a look at his actual feet. The boots are pretty neat. They don't move a whole lot, so it makes posing, again, kind of hard. They have great paint details, and I do like the amount of detail they put into the sole. It's kind of rare you actually see that much detail put on a boot. Now, they do pivot a little bit, and they do swivel, but that's about the only range of motion you're going to get out of this figure. Now, does that take away from how awesome he is? No, he is still a great figure. Alright, so for size comparisons here, I have Juggernaut with our DC Universe Classics Deadman. I also have him with a Marvel Select Rhino. Now, Rhino is a little bit taller based on the fact his horn is kinda a little bit extended past Juggernaut's height. Now he is a little bit shorter if you look at the top of his head, but if you look at the bulk between the two figures, if you're looking for scale, Juggernaut is more massive, so with that, I'm pretty satisfied with the scale between these two big boys. So for my final thoughts on this figure, I'm going to go ahead and say this is one of my favorite figures in the Marvel Select lineup. I love the detail on him, and I love the fact that this is quite possibly the best Juggernaut figure I think produced, at least in level of detail. Posability? No. However, he is fantastic. I like the fact that he is bulky. I like the fact that he is heavy. Now, would I recommend this for a small child? No. He is very heavy, and the kid could get hurt. However, I'd say like an 8-year-old, this could probably stand up to quite a bit of heavy playing. Now, with these figures, they are more geared toward the adult collector and teenage audience. And if you're looking to just collect an awesome Juggernaut figure, I highly recommend this figure. I do apologize I wasn't able to show you the box that this figure came in. Marvel Select does make some pretty incredible packaging with some great art. Now, I will have that in future reviews. And so on that note, I want to say thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.